Hello, Reeses and KitKats. Today we're going to be working on a reteach of something we did last week, writing and identifying expressions. So we're going to be taking those phrases and turning them into written expressions. Something that's going to be a little different starting this week, now that we're used to the new structure, if your worksheet is not completed, it will be a lunch detention. But if you do complete it, it will be +5 on your paycheck instead of +2. Remember, completed means showing all your work. Okay, so that's +5. That means you have a chance to earn +25 points if you do every worksheet every day for the rest of the week. All right, so let's get started. So first, let's fill in our vocabulary at the top. Product means multiplication. So where it says product equals, write multiplication in that blank. Then for the next one, quotient means division. So if you hear quotient is actually the solution to the division problem. So in that blank, write quotient equals division. Sum means addition, so write sum equals addition. And then difference is subtraction. So in that blank, write subtraction. All right, once you've done that, let's get started on number 1. So these problems are pretty similar to what we were doing last week, except we're just doing expressions. So we're not dealing with equal signs and the is and all that. So we actually learned this about a month back. So we're going to refresh our memories. So for the first one, I've broken these down a lot so that we can build it up and do tougher ones. Write an expression to represent the following. For A is the product of 3 and a number. If I look at my vocabulary at the top, I should have it filled in, product equals multiplication. So the product of 3 and a number. Okay, I know when I see a number, I represent that as a variable, when I see the phrase a number. So if product means multiplication, I'm multiplying 3 by a number, n. So for A, the answer is just 3n because that's multiplying 3 and some number n. Now let's look at number 2. Let's look at B. B says 2 less than the product of 3 and a number. So I've already figured out what 3 and a number is. And B, we're asking for 2 less than that. If I have 2 less, that means I'm taking 2 away. So I need to take 2 away from what I've already written. So B, we have 3n, and then it's 2 less, so taking 2 away. So B is 3n minus 2. Now let's look at C. C is pretty similar, but instead of taking 2 away, it says 8 more than the product of 3 and a number. So I still start with the same thing. I'm still starting with 3n, and then I want 8 more than that. If I want more than something, I'm adding to it, so it's addition. So 8 more than the product of 3 and a number. The biggest thing with these is just realizing that the 3 and a number have to go together. So when you see product of 3 and a number in the problem, if you've just seen 8 more than the product of 3 and a number, knowing that product means that those two need to be together. All right, now let's look at number 2, because this one's pretty tricky. Write an expression to represent the following. For A, it's the difference between a number and 10. When we see the word difference, that means that the first number we see is the one that comes in the front of our subtraction equation. So the difference between a number has to go first, so our n goes first, and 10. You guys are pretty good at this one. Now for part B, it says 3 times the difference between a number and 10. So we already know what the difference is. I need 3 times this. So first I'm going to say, okay, so that 3 times means multiplying by 3. I'm going to write it like that. That's not correct. Because here, all we've done is multiplied 3 times the number. But it's not asking for 3 times the number, it's asking for 3 times the difference. So I need to put my parentheses in, because remember from doing the distributive property, if I have my parentheses in, that means I'm multiplying 3 by all of this. And I need to multiply 3 by the whole difference. Not just by a number, but by the difference. All right, I want you to try part C on your own. It's really similar to part B. And then continue with the rest of the worksheet. This worksheet is a little bit shorter, so I know that you guys will be able to complete it if you're working the entire time. Remember, starting today, if you don't finish, it's a lunch detention. If you've shown your work and completed the whole thing, it'll be +5. You can check your answers on the website. Good luck!